Hi everybody, I'm Andy Murray from WhatCulture.com.
And I'm Adam Cleary from WhatCulture.com. Coming up for you today, WWE accidentally let slip the lineup for the Elimination Chamber.
I'm going to tell you all about MVP and his future in WWE.
The Rock's daughter has officially started in the Performance Center.
I'm going to tell you why Sami Zayn no longer wrestles for WWE.
Have we seen the last of Matthew Hardy?
And then we're going to do your big bloody Twitter questions, aren't we? This is the news. I'm still not very good at that, but we're going to kick things off with a little bit of chit-chat about Shayna Baszler, whose Gangrel gimmick is confirmed. Shayna Baszler is officially a vampire. She's joining the Brood. She's going to have a big puffy white shirt, cup of blood, that badass ring entrance coming up from the stage, the music going, all that stuff. That's a load of bollocks. I've completely made all that up, but she did bite Becky Lynch on last night's Raw. What happened was Becky defeated Asuka in a women's title match, a Raw women's title match. Shayna ambushed her afterwards, put her in the Kirifuda clutch, then, bizarrely, bit a chunk out of her neck. And when she came up, her face was all red, it was covered in blood, all this stuff. Now, WWE, they being PG, censored the hell out of this. So, it went down on TV. If you're watching on USA, you would have seen blood, you've seen the red, the crimson, the plasma, whatever the hell you want to call it. But if you go and look at the gallery on WWE.com, it's all in black and white, as it always is. If you look at the YouTube uploads, it's black and white. They've clipped bits and pieces out. Twitter uploads are the same. WWE are censoring the living hell out of this. And it was just a really weird way to introduce Shayna Baszler, I think. Hey, it's like not like this woman who's a real-life MMA badass is scary enough. Let's have her bite someone.
I mean, I could sit here for a good 5 to 10 minutes and tell you all the various ways this works, doesn't work, why I hate it, why I like it, etc., etc. But all I will say is that I woke up this morning quite groggy, went on the old socials, and some people were making the joke that Shayna Baszler was what was in Eric Rowan's cage. And because I hadn't actually seen Raw yet, and I just saw the picture of her covered in the blood, about 10 minutes, I thought that was true. But looking at the images and looking at the way they've done it, why is there any more daft than Shayna Baszler being a vampire?
It's a strange one. It's a strange one. I imagine.
Trust in the process, Andy. It'll all come good.
I imagine somebody in this creative meeting, whoever came up with this, probably thought it would look really badass. Like, oh, she's gonna look like such a hard ass if she bites her like a dirty fighter. But it was weird. It was weird, and you know me, you know I love Gangrel, and you know I love weird stuff in pro wrestling, but I don't think this is it, Chief.
I like the idea that this was a creative meeting thing that came up and they're going around the room going, well, how should we introduce her? Like, oh, what if she just like knocks out the whole roster? What if she just challenges Becky? And someone at the back goes, what if she bits her neck?
Can't wait for Becky to come out with some garlic next week. But hey, you know, it's Becky and Shayna. The feud will be good, the match will be great.
Speaking of the feud being good and the match being great, that's about as seamless as we're going to get. WWE might well have let slip the lineup for the Elimination Chamber. Now, they've deliberately kept everything for that pay-per-view.
Before we dive in, we should say, spoiler alert, I'll put my hand up. We won't have any images on the screen. If you don't want to have Elimination Chamber spoiled, mute now and wait till I've put my hand down.
Oh, if you don't want spoilers, then don't even imagine the idea that Roman Reigns is clearly going to get all the way to WrestleMania. Because that's everyone's been talking about for months and months and months. He's going to be in the match. Anyway, as a possible spoiler, what they might have done is let slip who's going to be in the Elimination Chamber. Now, you will know they are keeping this pay-per-view right now quite under wraps because there is still, obviously, the big Saudi mess to get through. And, of course, it might not even be Bray Wyatt getting to WrestleMania as champion because, as you have correctly pointed out in this news piece, could be Big Banter Bill Goldberg.
Imagine.
However, that's almost certainly not going to be the case. And according to the advert that was on television during last night's Raw, Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman versus Daniel Bryan versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode in the Elimination Chamber, winner to face Bray Wyatt or Bill Goldberg at WrestleMania. Now, this does make a lot of sense, given that obviously Raw took home the Royal Rumble spot, so we're going to have to get the SmackDown challenger there one way or another. But I don't know, there's a few names in this I was quite surprised at.
Robert Roode being
one.
Hell? That's weird.
I don't know, like having Braun as well. Like, you're not going to put the Intercontinental Champion in there because that's just, nobody's going to buy that.
Yeah.
And after Roman, he's the next most obvious winner, really.
It is, isn't it? It's an interesting lineup. I think Roman, Daniel Bryan, Shinsuke, like these guys make a lot of sense. I think it would have been cool to see like someone, like a younger, less proven main event level star kind of get a chance. Maybe like a Shorty G if he didn't have the Bart Simpson gimmick at the moment. Something like that would have been really cool. But, you know, Roman's winning anyway, so...
Have I missed something with Ali? Have I missed something here?
What's going on with him?
Why have you got the current Intercontinental Champion in there and not someone like Ali who can look, dare I even say it, man? Put Kofi in it.
Yeah.
Why not, man?
Yeah, Big E as well. Why not? It'd be fun.
Yeah.
John Morrison. Someone like that. It'd be cool. Well, I guess they'll be tag champs, but
If indeed this is actually real, because at the minute we're not 100% sure, WWE haven't officially confirmed it. It might just be a bit of an accidental leak on their part, or it might just be a clever thing that's doing the rounds on social media. That does look to be the kind of way they would book that, and if true, well, trust in the process. I'm sure we'll get a good match out of it, etc., etc. Congratulations, Mr. Reigns.
Anyway, moving swiftly onwards because my arm hurts like hell having all the blood removed from it holding up there. We're going to talk a little bit more now about MVP. He was on Raw. It was weird. VIP Lounge was back in full effect. He was playing kind of a heel role as he introduced Drew McIntyre as his guest. He said, hey man, if you're going to beat Brock at Mania, you need me in your corner because you're not smart enough to beat him on your own. That you didn't explicitly say that, but that was the implication. Ended up in a hilarious scene of MVP getting Claymored over his own goddamn couch. Funny stuff, but the latest on his WWE future after he Instagrammed the other week saying he was done, no more anything with the company. Him and the company have apparently been in talks over a backstage role. This is according to PW Insider, who said that there could be a producer's position in MVP's future. There have been talks over the past few weeks. There were more talks last night. Could be a nice little role. I think MVP's like 45, 46 now, looking to transition maybe away from full-time or active in-ring competition. He was still active on the Indies prior to returning at the Royal Rumble. Had that match with Ray, obviously, on the Raw after the Rumble. Good for him. Long-term employment from the biggest wrestling promotion in the world. If he's looking to wind down, this seems like a perfect gig.
I mean, you say that, but if he's getting into his mid-40s, he's looking to wind down, why doesn't he just do what Hamlet did and do a podcast?
Yeah, good point. Or a main event of Saudi Arabian pay-per-view.
Is he the only wrestler in the world who doesn't have a podcast, MVP?
He does have a podcast.
Yeah, well, there you go. See, that does make sense, of course. It's nice. This is good news. I mean, anybody who's that experienced in the industry has that much to teach. The next generation of stars working backstage can only be a good thing. I think we've seen with AEW, their coach role that they have works quite well. So, now, not for me to say that they're currently hoovering up anybody who might potentially still have Cody Rhodes' phone number and putting them in a nice, comfortable position of employment, but I am certainly thinking that extremely loudly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of which, Matt Hardy was on Raw. I was like, Matt Hardy's on Raw. And not only that, he was dressed as teenage Matt Hardy on Raw, which is also a bit weird. Anyway, he comes out. Now, you may remember he's very good friends with Edge. Nothing ever went wrong in that friendship. There's no reason to bring up anything that potentially put that at risk. They've always just been firm friends their entire life. They had a lot in common, including girlfriends. Anyway, he comes out to talk to Randy Orton, and he says, Randy, what the hell is wrong with you? And he's like, okay, this is getting a bit weird. He puts over Edge's return huge. He does this for Randy Orton. Randy Orton goes for an RKO, but Matt Hardy's wise to that. He counters him, and then a couple of seconds later, he gets RKO'd anyway after a series of counters. And then he gets his skull caved in with a couple of chairs and carried out. And then that was like, well, it was really weird for them to bring him back and then to do that with him. But then he tweets, goodbye, afterwards. And then there's been all this talk lately with his contract up on March the 1st. He is leaving WWE. The two sides have not been able to come to an agreement on a new contract. And oh me, oh my, where do you think the speculation could be that he is going?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be the exalted one, isn't he? Right? I mean, his WWE contract expires on March 1st. Last night's thing very much felt like a write-off. The goodbye tweet suggests that as well. Yeah, I think it's been coming to this for a while. We report on Matt Hardy's future, seems like every other day. So I'll be quite glad to see him, secure his freedom from there.
Yes, you'll be quite happy to see the back of him.
It's off Matt Hardy.
Should also say his brother Jeff is scheduled to return to the Performance Center for training and whatnot to bring him back into the fold in the near future as well. So the two brothers going their separate ways after all this time.
Different brands and stuff.
Are you in favour of him going to AEW?
Yeah, as a personality, I think he'd be a good addition to the TV, and I think he could do some cool broken stuff on there. As a wrestler, I don't know what else Matt Hardy has to offer. But, he's a better judge of that than I am because I'm just some dork with a YouTube show. So
I don't know how his spine's feeling. It's absolutely none of my business whatsoever.
Fusing into his pelvis
That's
or whatever
the one.
it was. Yep, good.
Speaking of fusing into...
Sami Zayn has fused into a managerial role over the past few months.
He got it. Go on, work the body.
Still got it. Shinsuke Nakamura's sidekick. He's his mouthpiece. He's very good in that role. But yesterday there was a lot of talk. There was a lot of talk on why he'd been slotted into that role last year. And that talk was that Vince McMahon didn't trust the guy because he was so goddamn injury prone. And now Sami has had his fair share of injuries, so that was a believable bit of speculation. However, Big Daddy Dave, he's saying no on Wrestling Observer Radio. Dave Meltzer spoke about this situation and he said it had nothing to do with injuries. WWE don't have a lack of faith in him. They don't think he can't get the job done in the ring. It's just because this is creative. It's a creative decision. They don't see him as an in-ring performer at the moment. They want him to be this manager. They want him to complement Nakamura rather than wrestling himself. And that's kind of relieving to hear, because you don't want to hear that they've just kind of slammed this guy on the sidelines because he got himself hurt a couple of times. Now, the Sami situation one, I think it's very fun to pick apart because Sami's a brilliant manager, right? He's a great talker. He's really annoying as he dances around and stuff. And he's been a great benefit to Shinsuke Nakamura's act, and he's helped enhance Nakamura immensely, I think. But at the same time, by not having him wrestle, you're kind of like depriving the audience of one of the most well-rounded wrestlers in the company. Now, I looked this up on his cage match record. This guy's only wrestled one TV match since August. That was a 6-man tag on an episode of SmackDown in December. He's had a few house show matches here and there. It's an interesting situation. I'm sure he's having a great time managing Nakamura. It's just a shame we can't see him wrestle more often, man.
I think as well, if you go back to Nakamura's first match in WWE against Sami Zayn, you've got the seeds already there for what could be potentially a really great feud going forward. So it would be nice if they are going to bring him back into the fold to see him work with his current partner. But by the same token, if there are any potential lingering concerns over his well-being, maybe putting him in there with someone who hits as hard as Nakamura is a bit of a question mark there for me. But I've always liked Sami Zayn. I've always liked him as a wrestler. It's one of my favourite things in NXT. I loved it when he got onto the main roster. Those couple of Rumble appearances. When he threw his goddamn shoulder out, debuting against John Cena. I would love to see him back. But the thing about Sami Zayn on the main roster is that they've just never known how to book him as a wrestler. It's always just like, this guy's really funny. Receive him as a joke. Or this guy's still being really funny, but receive him as a dick. I just think he needs slightly better management. Anyway, speaking of well-managed and not been on bad, it just kind of works. Simone Johnson.
The Rock's daughter.
There you go. And we must be very careful not to constantly call her the Rock's daughter because she is Simone Johnson. Simone Johnson, she has officially reported to the Performance Center for her wrestling training. Now, this is great news, isn't it? The Rock's daughter, Simone Johnson, going to be a wrestler?
It's awesome. It's awesome. If she's got a fraction of her dad's charisma, she's going to be a huge star.
As you all know, my close personal friend, The Rock, speaks very highly of her. Loads of nice quotes here. First of all, from her saying, "It means the world to me to know that my family has such a personal connection to wrestling. It's really special to me, and I feel grateful to have the opportunity not only to wrestle, but to carry on that legacy." Very by the numbers, that one, very corporate. And Triple H chimes in, he goes, I just wish my punk-ass kids would get their own butts in gear and make me a load more. No, wait, what does he say? No, there's so Simone's unbridled passion and incredible drive has earned her a coveted spot training with the elite athletes at the WWE Performance Center. Not only does Simone now have an opportunity to cultivate and display her passion for WWE within the Performance Center, but she'll carry on the tradition of her incredible family lineage while creating her own impact at WWE's first fourth-generation superstar. I predict she takes a pedigree on television within 3 years.
Yeah.
That's my bet. Anyway, enough from the nice stuff, enough of the corporate speak. The Rock himself chimes in, right? Dreams ain't just for dreamers. Congrats to my number one born, Simone Johnson, on officially signing her wrestling contract with at WWE, at WWE NXT, and on her way to becoming the first fourth ever generation WWE athlete. Carry our family name proudly, but your road will always be yours to create, earn, and own. So proud. Live your dream. Let's work. Hashtag humble hungry. Hashtag hardest workers in the room. Hashtag fourth generation. What that man can do with a hashtag brings a tear to my eye.
Yeah, and inspirational quotes that in other hands from another mouth would sound awful from The Rock. Is The Rock. He's the best. He's the best of all time. Yeah, I mean, good for her. I think she's 18 years old. Pro Wrestling Sheet reported in 2018 that she'd been training, so she's been had this on her mind for a long time, obviously. If Simone is 5% as good as her dad at anything to do with wrestling, she's going to be amazing. So let's see how this journey goes.
It's one of those where second generation or certainly follow-on wrestling prodigies can go one of two ways, and it's normally not the particularly good one. But
Cody Hall!
I'm not going to list other names because some of them get very angry when you do. If she's wanted to do this her entire life, right, and she genuinely wants to put everything into it, and The Rock is her father, the connections and the opportunities that'll bring her, the sky's the absolute limit here, surely.
Oh, for sure.
Surely.
You'd absolutely think so, but you're absolutely right. Stephanie's going to give her a pedigree.
She's going to get pedigreed on television.
Going to get over her. It's going to be tremendous. Anyway, let's transition over to our Twitter questions here. First one comes from Brianna, who's talking about the Seth Rollins stable here. since they can't be bras anymore, that was Buddy, Rizar, Akam, and Seth, now they're Rams. Obviously, Buddy lost his forename. And since they'll never be goats. Sorry, I'll do that as a whole. I've murdered that. Since they can't be bras anymore, now they're Rams, since they can never be goats. It's not really a question, it's just a really cool comment I like.
Just an acknowledgement of Adam Wilborn's patter. Yeah. I have to admit, I completely missed his bras thing.
Bras.
So I saw that tweet this morning, saw that everybody from the office was liking it, and I was like, I've missed something. I've missed something here.
It's good stuff. Let us know in the comment section your new suggestions for these names, I guess. Mars, maybe?
Yeah, why don't they be 30 Seconds to Mars?
Oh, because that band was not good. Anyway, next question comes from Jason Serwatka. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, sir. Probably have. Who says, 2 weeks in a row we haven't seen Eric Rowan on Raw. I feel like creative really never had anything in that cage and just gave up on the story altogether. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Yes.
As I say, I woke up this morning and for a solid 15-20 minutes thought that they'd revealed that Shayna Baszler had been in the cage and that she'd bit somebody. And I actually spent the majority of that shower this morning trying to work out how they justified her being in such a small container.
Yeah.
And then I came out and realised I caught up and that wasn't true. So I'm just, whatever it is now, it's going to be quite a letdown considering I thought it was Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, it does seem to me like they just kind of binned that off. Rowan got absolutely bantered into the sun in the Royal Rumble as well, eliminated by Brock in one of those like 10-second runs or whatever. So it wouldn't surprise me at all, man. Like, what could they possibly have in there? Like a little mad rat? Just, I don't know, man. A battle dwarf or something. What's a battle dwarf? What's a battle rat? I've no idea. The next question comes from Greg.
Do you remember when everyone thought it was Liv Morgan?
Just climbing out like it's a TARDIS.
Hello.
A TARDIS or something. Greg Blackman asks, MVP interviewing Drew McIntyre. With the WWE Network special coming up, is the Ruthless Aggression era becoming the new throwback era?
Well, yes it is, because I think they've cashed in as much as they can on the nostalgia of the Attitude Era, but the problem with doing that is you end up putting guys who are in their 50s in the ring.
Yeah.
And as we've seen on numerous high-paid, high banter shows overseas, this just doesn't really work anymore. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker and Kane was not good. Goldberg and Undertaker was not good. So if Ruthless Aggression becomes the nostalgia era, you're going to put guys who still work indie dates quite regularly in the ring, and while the money might not be there, the embarrassment won't be either.
Yeah, absolutely. I for one, am looking forward to them bringing back some of the classic characters of the Ruthless Aggression era. I'm talking the Dicks, of course, Big Dick Johnson, and any other phallus-themed act you can think of.
Snitsky for me would be good.
Snitsky, yeah. Have you seen him these days? Oh
yes.
My God, the beard. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us today. You can follow us on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. You can follow Adam Cleary on Twitter
at Carly Rae Jepsen.
You can follow me at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Horton Hears a Who, which I'm told is something to do with an elephant. Anyway, thank you. Bye.